Let's get back to basics, shall we?
RevelatorAlf.
Hello there, welcome to RevelatorAlf. So if you'd seen my Instagram a few weeks ago, I took great delight in posting that I've got a brand new set of drill bits. And quite a few people sent me messages and emails afterwards saying, well, why did I get a brand new set when I could have just, ground down my old drill bits and, save myself a few pennies? Well, a couple of reasons really. First of all, actually I really needed a new set because I'd lost a lot of old drill bits, all the smaller ones in between, everything like that, or I'd broken them. How many times I break drill bits, it's unbelievable. But you know what? I actually didn't really trust myself to make a good job of grinding down the drill bits. Every time I've tried, they haven't really been that good. Anyway, so I thought I'd buy a brand new one. Then I started to think, well, actually, did I really need to buy it? What was the purpose of it? And also, what else am I doing that I should be doing that I'm not doing? And it kind of got me thinking about working on my bike, the problems that you might be having, whether on your bike, your car, or at home, or in life, or whatever it is. I get so many messages and emails from people all over the world asking me about a particular problem on their bike, and they want help. They're crying out for help, as it were. Help me sort this problem out, or what is the issue? And most of the time, I've got to say, they're on motorcycles that I don't even ride, or I've never ridden, or never worked on. So it's actually very hard for me to give a definitive answer. But what I always say to these people is that, sort of go back to the basics, retrace your steps, check the battery, check electrical. If you've had work done to the bike, then see if you can undo that that's been done and see if that's causing the problem. All these little things you can trace back to a source, usually. So what's this got to do with drill bits? It's exactly the same kind of process that I was going through. I was looking at all the drill bits that I had. I was thinking, can I repair these? Can I make do with what I got? Can I sort the problem out? And in the end, I actually decided to just go back to the source, go back to basics and say, right, clean slate, get rid of that, let's start again with a brand new set. Now, I know there's a cost associated with this, but sometimes people will say you should do it in a certain way, like repair this or do it that way. Just as in service manuals or the specs on your motorcycle or your car. Let's say a simple task of changing the oil. The motorcycle which I ride is a Harley Davidson now. Now the capacity of the engine oil for my particular motorcycle is 4.7 litres. But actually, when you go to do an engine oil change, you're only supposed to put in 3.8 or 3.75 litres of oil. Well, what's going on? What's happened to that other litre of oil? Well, the thing is that when we're talking about engine oil capacity, what they're telling you should be in your bike, well, that's from a completely dry engine. But when we do an engine oil change, we're never really draining the complete amount of oil out. There's always going to be some residual oil sticking to the engine surfaces, let's say. So that means that you're going to take out less, in this case about 3.7, 3.8 litres, and you're going to replenish that amount. And what you do, you basically start up the engine, you run it for just a little while, and then you go and check the levels hot and cold to see if you need to top up maybe some more. But one of the problems that people have is they see what they're supposed to do or what they think they're supposed to do, and then they follow that guidance or they follow that bit of information, and it leads them to making a bit of a mistake. They'll see that, okay, everybody is saying that my bike has 4.5 litres of oil engine capacity, that's what I need to put back in. The reality is, no you don't. You need to go by this other bit of information, let's say from a service manual, which tells you only have to put in this amount because of all these extra other factors. So sometimes you're steered in one direction and other times you're steered in another direction, and then for those who are not really confident of what the right path is, they can get very confused and actually a little bit bewildered and disillusioned by the whole process. Now, if you've got a serious problem with your bike, with your car, with your house or life, whatever, sometimes there could be a whole host of issues that are causing you anxiety, let's say, can be causing the problem. But what we need to do is break those down into its individual components and then get back to basics, reset, and then try and figure out exactly what each problem area is and address those individual problems. We all face them in our daily lives, whether it's working on bikes, on cars, houses, in life, relationships. There's always going to be something that isn't working quite right, and we need to address that before it starts affecting other things. So when people send me emails asking me to diagnose and fix their motorcycle, I can only really talk in basic terms because I'm not really getting hands on that bike. I may not have experience on that particular bike as well. And also it might be something that I'm not really getting the full picture as well. I might be being told something that isn't quite exactly what's going on. So it's very hard for you, and it's also very hard for somebody like myself remotely to try and help you at times. And that can also lead to more frustration because you say, well, I'm going to somebody on YouTube, let's say, and they're not helping me either. The point is, whenever you're faced with a problem or a decision to make, do I stick? Do I twist? Do I stay? Do I go? Do I keep what I've got? Do I buy new? Whatever the situation, you've always got to do your groundwork. You've always got to do your own research on what you think might be the problem. But also, if you don't know what the problem is or you don't know what the fix is to a particular issue, then you need to start asking around, looking around for possible answers, and never take one answer. Always get a second opinion or a third opinion. Never just look at one forum and see what they're saying on a particular forum, because let's face it, they might be talking absolute codswallop. But at the same time, never just look at one YouTube channel or one blog website. Actually look at lots of YouTube channels, lots of websites, and see if you can start to find what the problem might be, narrow down the problem, or what the solution, what the fix might be. You might still not be able to resolve this. You might have to take it to a mechanic or a dealership or whatever it is to get the problem fixed. You might have to call in external help. You know, there's no shame in that at all. The reason why we kind of fester over these things and sometimes we, get frustrated is because we kind of want to try and sort these things out ourselves. We take pride sometimes in actually finding out what a problem is and trying to sort it out. It gets very frustrating if we can't sort it out ourselves, and also when we're trying to do something on the cheap. Let's face it, you don't want to call somebody else in because that's going to cost you money. You don't want to take your bike or car off to a mechanic, but let's face it, they're going to charge you money, and it might be money that you have or you don't have, or sometimes you just don't want to spend any money. Let's put it that way. So whatever the motivation, is that we all have this in our life. We all have problems that we need to resolve. When we talk about mechanics or auto electrical or whatever the situation is, there's going to be choices that we're going to have to make. There's going to be somebody's right and somebody's wrong. There'll be people who will agree with what you've done, and there will be people who will disagree. There'll be people who'll say you've done this wrong, and others will say no, you've done it right. At the end of the day, you've got to find your own path. And you've got to see what works for you and what particular issue that you have. Now, I'm not saying that the solution to all your problems is getting rid of the old and just coming in with the new. Oh no, although it's very nice. I'm not saying you should sell your old car and your old bike and go and buy something brand new off the forecourt. I'm not saying that at all. But I can see the appeal, and I'm sure many dealerships would thank you for your business as well. Or so they should. We can all get overwhelmed in life in trying to fix things around the home or the bike or the car or whatever it is. But possibly the best way to address these issues is to go right back to basics, address the things that you can address, try and problem solve those basic elements, and if it does get too much for you and too overwhelming, then sometimes just take a step back from whatever you're doing, whatever problem there is, and then give yourself time to think about things and then have another go at the issue, or get advice from other parties, or take your bike or whatever it is to the experts and let them have a go at it as well. There can be a right answer and there can be a wrong answer. There can be a right approach or a wrong approach, but it doesn't mean there's only one right approach and only one wrong answer. Life and mechanics and electrical, it kind of works on many different levels. So whatever the issue is, on your bike, on your car, your truck, whatever it is, but just address it as a problem solving exercise and get back to basics, and then decide whether you stick or twist, whether you try and stay and play, or whether you're calling the experts with a big toolbox. By the way, if anybody's interested in the UK, I get most of my workshop stuff from a company called, if you're in the UK, you'll know, screwfix.com. I'm not paid by them or anything like that. I'm just telling you where I got these from. So there isn't any link or anything like that. Just go Screwfix. If you're not from the UK, well, it's just a tradesman's suppliers website that we got here in the UK. Right, there's quite a few of them actually. But anyway, that's what I've got. HSS drill bits, lovely. I just wanted some new drill bits. That's it. There's no big drama. Right, maybe get this topped up. On to the next one. Nice. See you again. Ta-da. Oh, don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Check out the website. You know the score. Right. Ta-da.
RevelatorAlf.